When the credits had rolled on Avengers Endgame, people were relieved and sad at the same time. Relieved due to the fact that everything was right with the world again and Thanos was finally defeated, but sad because it marked the end of an era, and not to mention the death of Iron Man, the superhero who started it all. Nobody knew that the next chapter of the Marvel Cinematic Universe would be on Disney's streaming service and not in the cinema. Since the Falcon and Winter Soldier started streaming on Disney Plus on March 19th, a lot of people have had their eyes fixed on the screen for Easter eggs. And in this video, we're going to talk about those said Easter eggs. Some of them are quite obvious to the hardcore fans, but others might have missed them. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that post notification bell so you never miss another update from us. But before we proceed with the Easter eggs, let's take a look at the Marvel characters that are in the show. Well, starting off, the main characters of the series are Captain America's old friends, Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes. Bucky and Steve were childhood friends who also fought alongside each other during World War II and Captain America the First Avenger. They both got frozen in time and were then reborn in the 2010s. Bucky ended up being kidnapped by the Nazis and became a killing machine. He was also given a mechanical arm, and the fans are very familiar with the rest of the story. While on the other hand, Air Force veteran Sam Wilson met Captain America after he was awakened. He spent his military training wearing a pair of wings and swooping into countries to execute highly covert missions. He also became a member of the Avengers team. So, where does the Falcon and Winter Soldier fit in the MCU timeline? The show takes place after Avengers Endgame and WandaVision. In both shows, everybody is still reeling from the snap. Those who were still around aged 5 years and moved on with their lives. Those who returned after the snap are still trying to find their place in the world that has changed but is still familiar. If you blinked, you might have missed the Turkish Delight. In order to persuade the children of Riga, giving him more information, Zemo uses Turkish Delight as bait. The cube confections are typically filled with nuts or dates and are bound together by starch and sugar. They're then dusted with powdered sugar, and Turkish Delight is basically a very popular dish in Eastern Europe, which is the home of Zemo. The show deliberately chose Turkish Delight due to the fact that it's a reference to C.S. Lewis's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. In the novel, the White Witch convinced young Edmund Perseves to bring his siblings into Narnia using the same confection. Did you spot the Wakanda shield? After completely wrecking Battlestar and John Walker, the Dora Milaje has escaped. Ayo rallies her troops and sees Yama holding Captain America's shield. Ayo tells Yama to leave it, and then she hands it back to Walker. Although this is only a small moment in the show, it does speak volumes. Captain America's shield is made of vibranium, which is the strongest metal on Earth that can only be found in Wakanda. This is the very first information shared about the shield in the movie Captain America the First Avenger. It's a big deal for Ayo to decide to just leave the shield due to the fact that vibranium is only found in Wakanda. Wakanda has been entirely excluded from the outside world only until a couple of years ago. Most fans are asking how the United States even got their hands on vibranium in order to forge a shield for Captain America. This is why Yama picks it up and wants to take it. However, their purpose is not to proclaim that it was stolen from them, so Aya tells her to leave it. John Walker bursting through the door looking for Carly. Did this particular scene look familiar to you? If you have seen Captain America the First Avenger, then it could be. This is because it's similar to the scene in the movie where Steve and Howling Commandos going into battle for the first time. In the show, Zemo can be seen wearing a purple sweater. This is an nod to the comics due to the fact that purple is Zemo's signature color. Although we don't see him in an all-purple ensemble, still, they have found a way to incorporate his favorite color. The show has many references to Wakanda. Another reference is the flashback to Wakanda set before the events of Infinity War. This is another reason Bucky was beyond the moon to be able to see Steve when he arrived in Wakanda. Why? Because he was finally free from the grasp of the programming that turned him into the Winter Soldier. Before we proceed with the Easter eggs, let's get to know the villains of the show. The series doesn't seem to have a shortage of villains. There's a group of anarchists who want to return the world to the chaos of the post-snap years. Their goal seems to be creating chaos in a world without borders. Although they generally do terrorizing, their end goals are not very clear. There's also someone who's less of a villain but more of a rival. A couple of previews for the show suggest that the government doesn't want to lose the country's symbol of hope and strength. It has tried to replace Steve or Captain America with some random guy who looks a bit like him. However, we all know that you can never replace Captain America. The show's big bad villain seems to be Zemo. Zemo's family was among those who were killed in Sokovia during the Avengers encounter with the genocidal AI named Ultron in Avengers Age of Ultron. The movie introduced Wanda as well as Vision, and the show WandaVision often flashes back to Sokovia during Wanda's childhood years. Now back to the Easter eggs, to the scene when we hear Bucky speak in Wakandan for the first time. When Bucky and Ayo talk in the beginning of episode 4, he speaks Wakandan for the first time. Ayo refers to Bucky as the White Wolf, and in the comics, White Wolf was the name of the hunter. Hunter crash lands near Wakanda and was adopted by King T'Chaka. Sam also mentions that he used to counsel soldiers dealing with trauma. This was first mentioned in Captain America the Winter Soldier when Steve and Sam first met. There's Hoskin's death. This death is actually not in the comics, but the show, for some reason, has it. It's an intriguing parallel to Steve losing Bucky in the movie. Of course, this causes Walker to go on a murderous rampage. He's very much unlike Steve and this alone outlines the great differences between them. Let's talk about the serum's effects. After getting his butt wiped by 3 non-super soldiers, Walker has a sincere talk with his partner Battlestar. Walker asks his buddy if he would like to take the serum if given the chance. Battlestar says yes without batting an eyelash. He's not afraid of any of the side effects because he thinks that the serum and all of its powers is just going to make him even more of what he already is. The sentient echoes of what Dr. Abraham Erskine said to Steve Rogers before the procedure in the movie Captain America: The First Avenger. We're not sure if Battlestar was taking a guess, but if he was right on the money. The Captain America exhibit. The exhibit at the Smithsonian has numerous references to the legacy of Captain America in the MCU. One of the most outstanding is a reference to the Captain's final mission, and that is to return the Infinity Stones. A few of the things included in the exhibit is a list of the quote-unquote vanished people, the Snap, as well as Bucky's history. Did you also spot the cover of the first Captain America comic book? Actually, it is in there. The first comic book was released in 1941, and it showed the Captain punching Hitler. Did you take a closer look at Sam's phone when he got a text from Carly? If you had a chance to look at his phone, you would see that it says 3:12 p.m. That is probably a nod to Captain America 3:12, which is the comic that introduces everybody to the Flag Smashers. Then there's John Walker's breaking point. If you think that Disney Plus shows were all family friendly, you're mistaken. Have you ever seen the ending of episode 4? Captain America, supercharged with the magical serum, throws down with Carly and the Flag Smashers. Battlestar leaps into action and takes a punch from the Head Smasher and dies. Carly is shook and the Smashers make a run for it. John Walker goes after them and corners them in the middle of a crowd. Then he decapitates the guy using his shield in the presence of onlookers who are taking video of the entirely gruesome business. However, this does not happen in the comics. Battlestar survives his partnership with John Walker and is actually still alive. There is a precedent in the comics though. Captain America was pushed to the breaking point when a group called Watchdogs kidnapped his parents. Walker tried to save them, but they died in a hail of bullets. The enraged Walker ended up beating every Watchdog to death and even impaled one of them with his own rifle. From then on, he became unhinged. So yes, there are things that are only going to get worse from there. Speaking of the Flag Smashers, in the first episode, Joaquin confides in Sam that he's in the scent of a group called the Flag Smashers. In the comics, the Flag Smashers is a group of villains who is on a mission to liberate Earth from natural rule and fights with Captain America in the process. Finally, throughout episode 4, you'll see people filming Walker's actions. People are consistently pulling their mobile phones out and filming Walker. This is a link to the episode the whole world is watching. Did you spot all the Easter eggs in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Let us know in the comment section down below. And if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that post notification bell so you never miss another update from us. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.